So this video, I'm going to talk about some comic books I picked up this week. These are special comic books though. One is from, two of them, well, three of them are from Kevin Smith, the director of Clerks 1, 2, 3, and Jay and Silent Bob. Straight Back, a Reboot, and Tusk, and so much other movies and all that. But the others are two comic books that are from a very loving cartoon franchise, and they happen to be turtles. So I picked up these two comic books, issue 1 and issue 2 of Saturday Morning Adventures with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, as you can see, that it's the original turtles that everyone knows about from the late end of the 80s to the 90s 90s Ninja Turtles. So that's what the cover looks like. And here's one of the pages of the book, and you can see how it looks a lot like the cartoon from the Saturday Morning cartoons. Now, I had a blast reading these two because they essentially were reading a comic book. Essentially reading the adventures you would go on every Saturday morning, watching cartoons of Saturday morning, especially with the Ninja Turtles, especially bringing back the Ninja Turtles. The Ninja Turtles, these Ninja Turtles, not the other Ninja Turtles where you get Nickelodeon did that reboot show and did that movie on Netflix. Not that one. Not the 2005 cartoon, which I do love that one. But these Ninja Turtles. And they do have a series that just finished called Last Ronin, which I still need to read, and which I'll probably might do a review on that too. But these are my favorite turtles. The ones I grew up with in the early 90s. This is my favorite one. I'm saying all the rest. And speaking of Kevin Smith, the guy who made Clerks 1, 2, 3, and Tusk, and Jay and Silent Bob, and Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, and Chasing Amy, and Dogma, and all those other different movies, he made, like I said, 3 comic books. This one is 1 and 2 of Masquerade. Now, Masquerade is a comic book that you should pick up if you like Deadpool or Vigilante movies. Vigilante comic books. My bad, not movies. Vigilante comic books, especially like Deadpool and Deathstroke and all of ones. She is starts off like a reporter, and she's taking out people that don't really belong in our world, and she kills them and takes their face, literally scans their face from her helmet, the first issue is called Face Off. And it deals with a guy named hold on. It deals with a guy, a reporter named Wayne, I think, or Dwayne, like Dwayne Johnson, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. But yeah, this is pretty much how it is. One panel. And then I'll show you this one right here, this panel. And like I said, she scans their face. So, it's pretty interesting. It's a reporter named Felicia. Well, she has a show called By Felicia. He maybe took that from Friday, who knows. But the first two issues are great. It's just a woman taking her skills of vigilantism and taking charge of people that don't need to be here. So that's the funnest thing about that comic. And it's brand new. Highly recommend picking it up. And again, if you like Deadpool and Deathstroke, this is something for you. It's basically someone taking crime in their own hands and getting rid of bad people. So, with his music like Goodbye Horses and Social in the background playing, we're going to finally talk about the next comic book that Kevin Smith has. It's the Quick Stops comic book. Now, this is based off of Clerks, the Clerks movies, and slightly Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back and reboot. So basically, Quick Stops is a basically mini stories or stories that he cannot tell in his movies. Kevin Smith movies, like you're like, what? He can't tell that in his own stories. If you are a fan of them, yeah, these are stories that he can tell without putting them on screen. So, like the name of this one is the name of this issue. Inside is the holding back the years at Chronicon, which takes place in Jay and Silent Bob's reboot. And basically, it's him at a panel of Holden, Ben Affleck's character Holden, at a panel, and a panelist asks, not a panelist, a person in the audience asked a question about how he meet Jay and Silent Bob. Well, he met Jay and Silent Bob at the Quick Stop, which is slightly referenced on the very top of the comic book here. And he loosely based off of the two superheroes he was making fun of, Batman and Robin. the two characters of Batman and Robin. So basically, Holden made fun of Batman and Robin and twisted his own way. Now, if you're a fan of his movies and if you're a fan of Kevin Smith's movies of Clerks to Jay and Silent Bob, especially Jay and Silent Bob and Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back and Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, which is also the song is from too, Come My Way. You would know what superheroes I'm talking about, but basically Holden made those two superheroes that he made fun of Batman and Robin out of Jay and Silent Bob and how he first met Jay and Silent Bob at the Quick Stop in Jersey. That's still there, and that he actually filmed where he actually filmed Clerks 3. That's hopefully coming out soon. But I had so much fun reading this book because it had the same college humor, the same humor that Kevin Smith writes for his movies, and the same college kind of humor, and just the funness of revisiting his movies, but in a comic book form, because all his movies put a smile on your face, from Clerks 1 to 3 to Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, Reboot, Mallrats, Tusk, and all that, Yoga Hosers, all that. And just for a bonus, Keanu Reeves also made a comic book called Berserker. Yeah, the man who did Bill and Ted and was starring in Bill and Ted, Speed, Point Break, what else? John Wick, The Matrix. Yeah, he made his own comic book, and he's a guy that lives on and on. He's like kind of like a god, but basically, yeah, he made a book too, but that was just a bonus. So I highly recommend checking out the Ninja Turtles comic book. The other three comic books from Kevin Smith, especially Kevin Smith comic books. Support him and support his comic book so he can make more and maybe make an animated series of that, of Masquerade, and hopefully we get more movies just like that with Jay and Silent Bob and Clerks 4 and all that stuff. So yeah, that's it.